Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here, your source for gaming tech, emulation, and open source news. Let's get started. Alright, to kick things off, we're talking about the Nintendo Switch 2. Now it's worth pointing out at the time of filming, I don't know if Nintendo has or hasn't announced the Switch 2 yet. There's a period of time between when I record and when the video goes live. And during that time, Nintendo may have snuck in a Switch 2 announcement. I will say there's a lot of rumor about it, a lot of people saying Nintendo is going to announce the Switch 2 today, and a lot of people are doubling and tripling down on that prediction. Now I'm going to have to wait and see on this one, but with my luck here, Nintendo has probably already revealed the Switch 2, and what I'm talking about is already outdated. Anyways, you'll have to let me know in the comments below, but I'm very curious to see if the logo is going to be the same, if it's going to be called the Switch 2, and if the design of the console has been what's leaked so far. Sometimes where there's smoke, there's fire, and there's been a whole lot of smoke here. Although at the same time, it would be kind of funny if things were completely different. I will say, though, that some of the more reputable sources have been very incorrect. For example, The Verge said there was going to be an announcement on January 15th, and that did not happen at all. So January 16th, I think a lot of people's reputations will be on the line for people who have leaked the Nintendo announcement. Hopefully for their sake it happens, and maybe it does, and maybe it adds credibility, but who knows? Moving on, and we're switching from arguably positive news to arguably negative news. And next up, we're talking about Rockstar and GTA 5 and the Liberty City Preservation Project. It turns out that Rockstar has shut down the Liberty City Preservation Project mod that we have talked about in previous videos. And that was a mod that was trying to make Liberty City live in GTA 5. If you are curious about this one and wanted to learn more about it, like everything we talk about, links are in the description below right at the bottom. And I'll drop a link to this trailer here where you can learn more about the project and, well, see the trailer in action. From my understanding, there was no DMCA sent to the team, but the team talked to Rockstar, and it appears that it was in their best interest to discontinue the project. So here's the message. Due to the unexpected attention that our project received, and after speaking with Rockstar Games, we have decided to take down the Liberty City Preservation Project. We appreciate all the support that the project has received, and we look forward to continuing to pursue our passion for modding the Grand Theft Auto series. I've seen a bunch of reactions to that news, and it seems no surprise here, a lot of people are not happy with Rockstar. For example, take a look at the title of this video. Rockstar is at war with modders again. And this one here, Rockstar just reminded us why we hate them. And scrolling down, there's also a whole bunch of videos on how to set up the mod and even more. So once something's released on the internet, it's really hard to take it off the internet. And I'm assuming this mod is going to cycle around and stay alive for a long time and be unofficially supported by unofficial people. Who knows? Next up, we're talking about something that people are arguably not happy with to something that people probably will be happy with, provided you've got a Mr. FPGA. It appears that the 3DO is headed to the Mr. FPGA with a brand new core. It is worth mentioning here that the core is still in development, so it's going to be a while before things are perfected or things are in a state where people are not complaining about bugs and issues. Significant progress seems to have been made on this one, and in my opinion, it's super exciting. I mean, it's great for the Mr. FPGA. I would say arguably it's also great for the Mr. Pi. I think it's just great for the FPGA space in general and game preservation, emulation, and the retro gaming community. Video Game Esoterica has you hooked up with even more information if you wanted to learn more about the entire project. And speaking about checking stuff out, check this out here. We're talking about Doom. Someone has Doom up and running in a PDF file. Not joking with you here, it just seems like everything in the world can run Doom. Maybe next we'll see Doom running on an unmodded potato. I've got no idea here, but I mean, it's running on a PDF. It may not be running great, it may not look great, but at the same time here, in my opinion, this is really cool. Arguably, the best part about all of this is that it seems pretty easy to do. The developer has open sourced the entire code for this and has also included a link to a doom.pdf file. I wonder what that does. Anyways, all of that information is in the description of their video, and like everything we talk about, link is in the description below if you wanted to learn more about it. Next up, we're talking about Pretendo, and this is more of just a follow-up to something we talked about yesterday. So in yesterday's video, we talked about Pretendo versus Nintendo, how there were some articles out there pitting Nintendo against Pretendo, and it was all because of a customer service response from Nintendo, saying there may be security risks with using unauthorized online servers. And for those who may be unaware, Pretendo is a free and open source alternative to Wii U and 3DS servers. Anyways, here, it seemed to be a big nothing burger. There didn't really seem to be any sort of issue whatsoever, but a lot of people were wondering, does Pretendo have any security issues? And here's Pretendo's response. We understand Nintendo's warning. Always be cautious of what you're installing and do proper research. That said, our tools, servers are open source, and we are committed to user safety, going so far as to release security patches for games Nintendo themselves no longer supports. So it seems Pretendo's going above and beyond what Nintendo is even doing. Well, obviously so, considering they have servers and Nintendo doesn't. While it's pretty impossible to say that something has zero security risks or issues or flaws or anything like that, I'm assuming at the same time here that the Pretendo team would work as fast as they can to close any sort of security issues if they were ever raised. So we'll have to wait and see if Pretendo ever has security issues, but I mean, at the same time here, Nintendo just seems to be grasping at straws, and well, if people are concerned, they can reach out to the Pretendo team directly. They have a Discord. Next up, we're talking about PlayStation, specifically the PS Vita. And if you're a fan of the PS Vita and you were wondering why it really didn't seem to receive a whole lot of love from PlayStation, well, we may have our answer. Kind of Funny Games has an interview with a former PlayStation executive, and they share some very neat information. Or very sad, I guess, if you're a fan of the Vita. Anyways, here, apparently they did not have enough development resources to make games for the Vita. The development resources were split between Vita and PS4, and they were pulled towards PS4 games. It's unfortunate that PlayStation decided to not allocate more resources to help develop the Vita, but at the same time here, PS4 was the hot ticket item, and it still is a hot ticket item. I mean, they're still making games for the PS4. So it goes to show how important the PS4 was to PlayStation and how not important the PS Vita was. Either way, I do recommend checking out this video because the video is over 2 hours in length and there's a lot that was discussed. I mean, they talk about the PlayStation Portal. They talk about Bloodborne on PS5. They talk about a bunch in it. It's a very interesting and very entertaining video. But moving on from that, and next up, we're talking about Linux gaming and Proton Experimental. If you use Linux and you use Steam, you're probably well familiar with Proton Experimental, and it just got a brand new update. In my opinion, this is a pretty big update because there's a bunch of fixes for a bunch of big games. They have fixed Stalker 2, The Axis Unseen, Beyond Handball, Marvel Rivals, The Finals, and Creatures of Ava crashing with Intel GPUs. They fixed Marvel Rivals crashing on non-Steam Deck devices after a recent game update. They fixed Sea of Thieves' Xbox login window that wasn't working. They fixed interface elements in Disney Epic Mickey 2, The Power of Two, that was showing as a solid green color. And they fixed some regressions here, so Overcooked All You Can Eat now works with more than one controller again. Next up here, we're talking about Telegram, and some of you probably already know about this and some may not, but it seems like this is the beginning of the end for Telegram, at least in terms of privacy. I could be wrong about that, but we'll have to wait and see, but it's being reported that Telegram shuts down Z Library, and Anna's archive channels over copyright infringement. It appears that Telegram is cracking down on this stuff, or other companies or other people are cracking down on this stuff through Telegram, because Anna's archive and Z Library official have been taken down without any sort of notice. And taking a look here, it's being speculated that the Indian government is involved in this, and they were previously ordered, Telegram was, to share user details. So if you use Telegram, you may want to pay attention to this stuff. I don't, I'm not on Telegram, and if you ever receive a Telegram request from Mr. Sujano, it's not me. I mean, there have been a few fake ones in the past in comments to try to bait people and scam people, and I am not on Telegram. Mr. Sujano has no presence on Telegram, so don't ever get scammed by anyone saying they're me. But getting back on track here, and I could be wrong with this assumption, but I'm assuming that one of the big attractants towards Telegram was the perceived privacy, or I guess piracy if you rearrange the letters. Anyways, here, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole. I'm just assuming a lot of people were attracted to Telegram because it seemed like things were private, not monitored, and they could be free to say and do what they pleased within Telegram. And it doesn't seem like that will be the case anymore. I could be wrong with that, but at the same time here, if they are taking down channels over copyright infringement, things are being monitored in some way, shape, or form. And speaking about being monitored, and I guess social media per se, next up we're talking about Openvibe. Now, a lot of people have asked me about Openvibe because it's a client for Mastodon and Blue Sky all in one on Android. And I don't recommend this one for one big reason, and that's because it's not open source. I mean, you may disagree with me on this one, but the name is a little bit misleading. So it does say Openvibe, but it's not open source, at least not to my knowledge. I haven't found a repository for the source code for this app. And they are saying here it's your gateway to open social networking. Open social networking does not mean that this app is open source. And again, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here, but Mastodon and Blue Sky are both open source, and I'm pretty sure their apps are open source as well. So taking a look at it that way, I'm more of a fan of using an open source app for an open source application as opposed to something that is closed source as a gateway to an open source thing. Again, I could be wrong, but I can't recommend Openvibe, although I receive a lot of requests asking me my thoughts about it. I don't use it because I don't trust it. Next up here, we're quickly talking about Nintendo Switch emulation, and it's being reported that Donkey Kong Country Returns HD is fully playable on Ryujinx. Now, if you remember, Ryujinx was taken down by Nintendo, and although it was taken down, copies of Ryujinx are still online. Once you release something online, good luck taking it off. Anyways, here it is appearing that the game is fully playable on Ryujinx, and videos on YouTube are also surfacing about it. And last up here, we're talking about PC gaming. And if you're a PC gamer, this report is a big W for PC gaming and the future of PC gaming. There's a brand new report that says PC games are outselling console games, calling PC gaming a bright spot in a troubled industry. The article has some very interesting charts and information here, and it does seem that PC gaming is picking up steam in terms of overall content spend, even compared against mobile. Now, mobile is obviously the giant in terms of spending, but I mean, at the same time here, PC seems to be making up ground. And they say here PC is a big bright spot, adding 65% more content spend than living room consoles since 2011. Additionally here, and to me this one is very interesting given the fact that we've seen a lot of studio layoffs. And they say here, while console has stagnated since 2021, the PC gaming revenue has grown 20%. Now, as for the driving factors behind this, it seems like it's a growing ecosystem, a lot of backward compatibility. I mean, if you upgrade your PC, you still keep your Steam library, and most of those games, if not all of them, should still work. And stuff like SteamOS, and surprisingly here, Roblox. They say hundreds of millions of children growing up on Roblox are unlikely to ask for a $500 console to play AAA games. They want Robux. So based on this information, I wouldn't be surprised to see even more games hit PC in the future, where we'll see a trailer and it'll say the console that it's being released on, and then also PC. And I'm not surprised as to why PlayStation keeps pushing to have their games released on PC as well. Let me know your thoughts about this and the future of PlayStation, the future of PC gaming. I mean, are you happy about this news? Do you think PC gaming is going to continue to grow? And do you think developers are going to start to develop for PC first? But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Feel free to discuss anything we talked about in the comments below. And if Nintendo makes their Switch 2 announcement, feel free to tell me about it in the comments below. If you like this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button. Check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate. Save your state.